I should be getting out of bed about now.
Right. Okay, our live stream is complete.
We're comments.
You're the best.
So we're ready to move forward.
Okay, so
And with the health department,
that clock.
so the health department's 1159 fund, I'm looking. Honestly, for the majority of that, the only line item in that fund that will be changing, that is not payroll related, is the public health line. And we had reduced that to 70,000 due to using the 1161 fund, which we need to start switching our reliability from 1161 back to the 1159 fund. So she has requested that at $100,000 once again.
Was, we were changing the name of. Is it in this? No, it's not in this one. Never mind.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
part
it's
of
in
it
another
is,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
so, and there is that change.
So just
So-
to, I was gonna say, real quick, we are the requested public health at 44320 in 1159. That is staying that's staying at 100,000, or her request is to go back to 70,000.
It is a request to go back to 100,000. It was previously 100,000. We
Yes.
reduced it for a couple of years to help this fund,
So-
but the request is to
For
take it back
2027, back to.
to 100,000.
Okay, to make sure, sorry.
And so if we wanna go ahead and take care of that one, then I'll talk about the other issue at hand.
I will make a motion to move in 1159 health department, the public health line item to $100,000 for calendar year 2027.
I'll second that motion.
On favor? Aye.
Okay, the other request that has been made is in 2026, the position environmentalist was removed and the food specialist took on that role. The food specialist has been doing both positions at her current food specialist pay. The request at hand is to potentially give her a compensation boost for doing both positions and also rename that to an environmental specialist.
And part of that still comes from 1159 and 27,748. Is that the same, was that the amount that would come out of the 1159? What amount of the amount?
We could increase, yes. So that's what is coming out for this year.
Who was doing the environmental position before? Was it not being,
Well, yeah, we did away with that, right?
The person was let go.
okay, but was their environmental duties being done
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
by the food specialist.
by the food?
Now the
Yes.
food specialist is doing, so, and when it says environmental, she is doing, like, I'm sure if you're out at the county fair at night, they're doing the mosquito spray. They're for the festivals and fairs, they are doing all the septic inspections. They are doing inspections when there's a complaint that there could be raw sewage on the ground, that kind of stuff. Along with the majority of the food inspections.
And
So is the food specialist salary on the whole in,
So the food,
see, it's part from a county
it's,
and part from the state currently?
it is part from the county tax fund. And it is partially from the state 1161 fund.
Okay.
And if I look at this salary ordinance, hold on just a second, let me pull this up, what her current combined pay is.
I was seven, here's the same, it's the same that I have.
I didn't write anything down.
I had, coming
You got
from
this
Health
one, right?
First, 117, 115, it's 40,567.
Right, so let me,
40,000.
It's all 40,567 is all.
Which number are you looking at? Health first,
The raise.
11.
it would be the food specialist.
After the
So I
decline,
have
raise.
40,558.
558, yeah, that's 557 is the same, sorry.
Yeah, and so we round up on that,
So we can determine, obviously, an increase in pay. And those can still be separated, we really can decide how much, as we all know, the health first funding has been
Right.
drastically cut by 2/3, and it's not gonna continue much
Right.
longer, right, for all we know, but.
I would definitely include the majority of this raise to come from 1159.
Yes.
From the tax driven.
Yes.
Yeah,
So Heather, why, I have 45,580, was that what we were gonna, when we combine those two, is that what we were gonna give her an adjusted salary?
I do.
Whoever does that,
I do not have a thrown out.
Yeah, nobody's made a
Nobody
suggestion,
made a suggestion on it.
currently just over 40,000.
okay,
It
I
is
got you,
40,558
okay.
currently. If,
and you're saying you think 1161 is gonna continue to meter down over the years?
yes, so currently, if a position. If this position were to only receive the 3% raise, that would only increase by $1,216. So we would definitely, if you want to be doing a higher compensation, you would wanna go above that amount.
I would. I would be in the ballpark of about a $10,000 raise because. When we were paying to the environmental specialist. He was making
So,
close to 50.
let me see, so previously, the environmental specialist was making, and this is in
25.
25, let me find.
It was 28,430. And 26, it was just shy of 40,000.
The environmental specialist was making 38,000, so previously we were paying 39,000 for a food specialist and 38,000 for an environmental specialist.
Also need to be mindful of the other, obviously long tenured, and professional, positions as far as the LPNs, RNs,
Right.
registrar positions and the health department, but Ray, I completely agree with you.
You
That-
have 2 jobs.
Yeah, that salary right now, and obviously, we're most likely to be able to replace that person and find somebody for that. We wouldn't find somebody for that current salary to do both positions. We would not if that had to be replaced. So
That's a
I
good point.
was going, I know you did say 45, I was going to suggest, 46,000.
Well, I think
Would
David's
you
got
tell?
something here.
We had talked about, moving her, if you look at the, spreadsheet that the director provided us, aligning that salary with the assistant administrator,
That's what I was
The
thinking.
45.
which is
77.
46,742. And then maybe raise it to the 48,661, so.
So
Well, that was what we thought we were gonna get for.
if the,
Oh, yeah,
if the administrative assistant received a 3% raise, their salary would now be 46,429.
Yeah, and that's why I had mentioned 46,000 as a suggested, number.
that's good.
Obviously, again, not with an additional 3% on top of that, but,
And on this
don't have
spreadsheet
to
here,
know
she
that.
has the administrator currently making 46,742.
yeah, and that's not right.
Are you, so you're seeing that
Unless
too?
is she getting, this is a department that has a little, there's
Oh,
extra
yes,
$1,000
there's
type in there,
probably
pull
a
from here.
Stipend somewhere.
Hold on a
There-
second, let me see if there's a,
She's got 48,000
That's with the 4% increase.
Like they have a compliance coordinator gets a $2,000 stipend. I mean, we've had, so it's
So they
possible.
were told when this started that the little stipends that were given out of 1161, that those may go away.
Mhm.
That when that is. So I don't know if we should count that. What salary or? Because that is just a stipend now.
Yeah, I don't think she's also, yeah, there's that 2,000 for the fatality review coordinator, the 2,000 for the required child injury prevention coordinator, so there are indeed some small stipends.
There are some small stipends that Lindsay has appointed to them for these smaller additional tasks.
So I recommend that you go to the base salary
The
then.
46,000,
Mhm.
do you, and just leave it at 46 flat, or do we wanna take it to the 46,429?
Let's take it to the 46,429 and she still gets 3% raise.
No, that is
No,
the,
that's the 3%.
that is the 3%, so
Okay,
that
I got
it
you.
isn't ran again.
Oh, I got
And then
you.
the other question, if in a minute we have a motion and that's voted, the 46,429 or the 46 flat, and now the question is again, knowing what's gonna happen to 1161 and the Health First funding, do we, currently there have been 12,819 in that food specialist position, do we just put 10,000 of that in the 1169 and put the remainder in 1159?
That would clean it up, make it easier, I feel like.
Mhm.
So,
But do we wanna first approve, I think the position needs to stay at a flat 46, cause we're really making an adjustment.
That was what I suggested, so yeah.
Okay. so the motion would be to make the environmental specialist in 1159 $36,000.
Correct.
Knowing that,
You're gonna have to change the name, right?
right, and knowing that
other
10,000 will be budgeted in
Okay.
1161.
So the total's 46.
Yes.
I will make a formal motion that out of 1159 Health Department fund, that the combined position of food specialist and environmental specialist, we will recode that account description, that $3,600 of the full $36,000 of the full $46,000 salary come from 1159.
Okay,
So
Yes,
she
sir.
motioned it, who's second?
you guys second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
And then now so then 1159 you accept as, because you've accepted both changes.
Yeah.
Okay,
And would it just be indeed called like food/environmental specialist or?
Lindsay said she would prefer it just be environmental specialist. That, that food can definitely qualify under the
That's under
environment.
that umbrella. of
Yeah.
environment. Okay,
Environmental doesn't really.
They oversee the part-time food specialist.
That is correct. So that was an additional, duty that not only are they taking on both positions, but they are also managing the employee. Okay, so then 1161, Indiana Health First. So, and
Did we accept the county health 1159
Mhm.
budget as is, with those changes?
I don't know if we did the whole budget, did we?
We
just
made
do one
changes.
formal just to accept
I
1159.
entertain that motion.
I can make that motion that we
Okay.
fully accept all the numbers
Thanks,
reviewed
Mike.
for 1159.
Second.
I second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, 1161, and I'll just read changes. So fatality review analyst, $1,000, no change. Health officer, $804, no change. LPN, 15,361, no change. Administrator, $1,959, no change. Immunization nurse, $9,437, no change. Registrar, $1,471, no change. The first change I'm coming to is, coag clerical. There's been a proposal to potentially, reduce, since this, budget is seeing a cut from the state. We would need a formal motion to reduce the staff number on that.
Now, is that to, how much of a reduction are we talking about? We need to just take it,
It's to remove.
Remove that.
position.
remove that, okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion to move that position.
Second.
with the drop in state funding.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then admin assistant, $1,665. Stayed the same. Social security from $3,600 to $2,000. Full-time registered nurse, $1,802, stayed the same. Perf, $29,400 to $30,000.
That's true, but right?
Um,
That increase comes from increase.
Yeah, I think she's just reallocating the places that she uses per. Coordinator, $1,424, stays the same. Health insurance, $23,250.
And that one makes me nervous. Obviously, we've had a drop in a staff, but now that our contribution is increasing to 9,500. Not per employee per month, sorry, per employee per year. That, we need to, when this is approved, make that as a fluid line item.
I
based
would
on-
recommend leaving this line item the same. And then, pulling the remaining amount from 1159. Make up the difference.
Is there even a? There's not a, okay,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, there, we do have that other insurance line item in 1159.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Public health coordinator, 5,000, 5,000. Food specialist,
Change that to 10.
from $12,819 to $10,000 per our previous discussion. Deputy register, 38,617, and it stays the same, of course, with just the 3%. That's fully funded from this position. Or this fund. Public health supplies, 4,000 unchanged. Janitor supplies, 1,000 was an increase. Environmental supplies, $1,500, that was an increase. General supplies, 2,000, that's a $600 increase. Education and training, $500, it was previously 0. Per diem, previously 0, now $400. Postage, previously 0, now $2,000. Travel, previously 0, now $5,000. Vehicle maintenance, previously 0, now $500.
I have a couple of proposals
Okay.
to make. First, I'd like to look at line item, 31,820, which is education and training. I'd like to keep that consistent with what the recorder's office is, and we approved today at 400.
Okay,
That was that was, there's some travel.
There was travel,
I mean, in reference to the recorder's office, that was the new line item of
okay,
400.
travel, okay.
I have a question on travel too.
yes,
Do we need that at 5,000 for the 2020?
No.
so what I will say is previously with travel. They had a truck that they have sold to the highway garage. So now they're no longer driving a vehicle. They are taking their personally owned vehicles. So there are more reimbursements. The plan was to repurchase, but at that time, the funding was not adding up. So, they have not been able to purchase that vehicle yet. So they are still reimbursing for it now.
And obviously, some of these are definitely like, wow, you know, they're asking for this, or wow, this is increasing. Obviously, if these can be expended to 1161 this year, I say go for it. Knowing that they need to spend them. I'm not saying stock up on janitor supplies, but if we have this gifted funding, this Health First funding, that is certainly not intended to just buy toilet paper. It is intended to move the matrix and some health numbers for this county. But again, if Lindsay can allocate money here, you know, for this program, and we can utilize this funding for things like general supplies, training, postage, janitor supplies, I'm all for it, knowing though that this may not be there next year or 2 years from now.
Right.
So we may have to they can't get used to $5,000 in training and $2,000 in postage,
Right.
knowing
And
that.
we have
different fund, we may have to
on
slice
this
that.
fund, a lot throughout, and we have moved from other 200 series funds into these funds already to make some of these purchases happen.
Are you saying we'll get pushback if we put this in from this fund? the state?
I think as a state
Do we have to
standpoint,
say-
they want to see us, this is one that they want to see us actually using.
Okay,
If not, it's good to disappear even quicker.
Right.
Do we have to make a motion on like 12/2/30 because that was a change from last year of $600?
If
We can make a blanket.
you could
we
make
can
a
make a blanket.
blanket to accept as submitted.
Okay, I'd like to entertain that, entertain a motion to accept this as submitted.
Second, or I'll make a motion.
All right, second,
I'll second.
Ray, Black, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Technically,
Oh,
we're not done with
technically,
one
we're
and
not.
five.
It's a
No,
page two.
Sorry about that, I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
Retract your motion.
Yeah, retract.
So also in the 1161, utilities, which we have been using utilities from this fund. She is requesting 25,000 to cover her utilities. Repair of building upkeep, $7,000. Contracts, $10,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think like some of the contracts, like there may even be a contract with Norton's King's Daughters for some of the services that they can't provide, or
Yeah, it's funny, one state fund from another, because a state fund that was helping with all the youth tobacco stuff dropped. So then the health department was helping to supplement that from this state fund, so
Right.
I suppose you're robbing Peter and just
Yeah,
paying Paul, but. Those both examples, one of that was contractual, both of those examples were state funds.
They spent $7,000 last, they spent.
right,
Already
So-
this year.
So,
Yeah.
that's gonna
they've
get
been
used.
using it, yeah. And then childhood injury, prevention coordinator, $2,000. Furniture and equipment, $7,000. Fatality review coordinator, $2,000. IT contract, $12,000. Certified environmental assessment, $1,000. Compliance coordinator, $2,000. Food specialist 2, this is the part-time person to assist, $10,000. And infectious disease case management, $1,500.
And does this food specialist part-time also need to have a change in title to reflect just environmental stuff those two?
This person is only doing
Only
food,
food.
right, so this
Restaurant,
person,
that checks.
right,
That's true.
okay, so now,
Now we
if
can-
we could have
I'd like
a
to entertain a
motion to
motion.
entertain it. Right.
I'll make a motion again.
Get a second?
Second again.
Ray Black, all in favor? Aye.
Okay. Health COAG, which is 8105. This is a grant and the grant funding was reduced to $30,000.
I believe this ends
This is the
June
last,
30th,
yeah,
2027,
right.
a year we're done.
35,000 even.
It went from $35,275 to 30,000 even.
You say it ends the middle of next year.
Yeah, June, the end of their state fiscal, yeah, June 30th.
Have a motion,
Entertain a motion to so move accept this, second. Second that,
I'll second it.
Pam, second, all in favor?
Aye.
okay, 8106, emergency preparedness. I believe this funding is still established for future years. It has not been completely cut. And it is $20,000 for the past several years.
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept this.
So moved.
Second. Ray, did you, Ray Black, second? Ray Denning, made the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 8107 immunization grant. This grant has been cut significantly over the last couple years. The amount requested, which is for approved amount, is $6,700.
I'll motion.
Make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
All right,
So 67.
Pam, you want?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That concludes the health department. So our next fund is 1169, local road and streets. This money is funded by the state of Indiana. Gas, oil, and lubricants, 350,000, remaining the same. Bituminous, 250,000, remaining the same. Stone, 10,000, remaining the same. Engineer, $1. We've always been told we have to put $1 to placehold. Equipment, 375,000, remaining the same, and Biolytic AI, $30,000, remaining the same.
And motion to accept, do we have another page to this?
No, this is
I'd
it.
like to entertain a motion to accept 1169.
I'll make a motion to approve 1169 local road and street contracts, and that's for 2027.
Second. Great, Denny, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that moves on to
1176.
1176. The first major ask in 1176 is updating the office manager's position. So that was a new position last year. They're wanting that to be raised to match the supervisor salaries. So if it's the same as the proposed 3% increase, that salary would go to $54,777.
And that matches the foreman's pay, is it correct?
That is district, is it
District.
district supervisor pay, which is foreman,
Okay.
yeah.
And there was not a request to change, there's not necessarily need a request to change the title. We're keeping that as office manager. I know that kind of threw a couple of us for the loop.
Mhm.
Right, well, I think he calls him something else, so yes, I'll change that name because I think we renamed it when we created it, and then they actually came up with a different title, so I will rename to match.
What was that total again?
It
54,
would be
777.
increasing him to $54,177.
With no additional,
That would be the same as what the foremans will receive next year.
Okay.
With a 3% raise.
that's stretch.
What are, office or highway?
You're talking about the
administrator or
district
something,
supervisor
that's-
positions?
Yes, right.
Well, right now, that's at 53,182, isn't it?
Yes, but they would qualify for the 3% raise,
Okay.
which would.
So we're
take
gonna
them
adjust that.
before one
It
third.
was 50,522, I
Right.
think the request.
Currently, the office manager is at $50,522.
I would like to.
I'll make that motion to, move the salary, for 11,380 to 54,177 with no.
770.
Or one, there you go, 777
770.
Yes.
with, no increase. No salary increase.
A second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright.
Office supplies, 2,000 remaining the same, postage, 200 remaining the same, travel expense. It was previously 4,000, they have requested 10,000.
And they had a cover letter with that.
Part of that expense is due to, attending meetings due to the superintendent being appointed as the president of the Superintendent Association, basically.
We've reduced it to 6,000, I think.
Say, I had it in my notes, 6,000 to 7,000 question mark with the potential reduction back for the following year, if indeed that. We had, it's a 2-year or 1-year term, but that may, that he may have to show up to some of those meetings even a day early, potentially because of that title this year.
I would like to entertain a motion that we, decrease that to 6,500, kind of meet in the middle of you two guys. For that. You gonna do it, or do we wanna go to 6 or 7? I just met these two ladies in the middle.
I'll make a promotion at 6,500.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next request is repair of building and structures. Previously at $6,000, now requesting $8,000.
I have a note, this is due to labor costs increase.
Labor cost and a lot of that stuff over there is aging tremendously.
That's bad. I would like to entertain a motion to make that change from 6 to 8.
You made a motion?
I would like to entertain a motion.
Yeah,
I'll entertain the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next line item is dues and subscriptions from 300 to 1,500.
I have that due to events for AIC and ICC.
Now that one would be open for discussion.
Those are professional dudes.
I-
Most of them. Or
I feel like the dues and subscriptions are typically set on a base of your salary.
I'd like to see some hard numbers, what that actually costs.
Right,
Yeah.
And I apologize, I don't think I remember putting a star next to it during budget submissions in our first meetings, and I did not think to follow and ask that question. Yeah, that seems to jump, I'd like to see what exactly that is for.
I think it could be some increase, but I'm not sure at that level.
So these guys gotta go to like the road school, don't be like the commissioners do.
they typically go to road school, they also attend the commissioner conference, and they also attend the AIC.
And how many of them do that? Just the leadership?
No, so AIC, I believe, yes, only the leadership, the 2 leadership roles. Commissioner conference, I believe that's still the same. Road school, I believe they do take some of the foremans
Okay.
because they do discuss different techniques and different training opportunities for them.
Well.
And this is specifically for dues and subscriptions.
Right.
And in all the cover letter requests, I do not see an explanation for that one. Am I missing that? Does somebody else see that?
He verbally, it said like,
Yeah.
at AIC and CC, the ICC events that they go to.
I like that.
Was the reason for the request, increase, cause I had asked.
I just like everything, I think it's
Just ready
ready to go to 1,000.
their subscription, the membership, those fees have all increased.
This has increased due to the rising membership costs for enrollment with hikes and
Elections.
latches.
So,
Well, respectfully saying some of that can be relayed through the leadership. I agree with Dwayne on 1,000. I'd like to entertain a motion of 1,000.
So moved, get a second,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Did we vote on the building?
Yeah, yes, Gary motion and I second.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, and then everything else there
Summer.
seems as salary wise. Dust control, 70,000 remaining the same. Snow and ice control from 30,000 to 60,000, with reason for that increase being they are going to have to transition from using cinders to more of a salt or maybe even brine, formula.
Yeah, everybody's gonna cringe when I say backtrack, but
Yeah,
I
we did get
missed
that
the
summer
increase
help.
in, yeah, the $15,000 increase in summer help
Oh,
too, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
It seems like
I just know
We had a
this-
conversation.
we had a
Okay.
conversation, but I can't
With
remember.
this budget I mean, obviously it makes
Sorry.
He
That's
was
not
saying
current.
that,
These are
that the summer help was
scandalous.
really a difference maker in terms of.
It was one of his top
Pest
five.
control and other
It was
things
one of
that
the
they
top
do.
5.
The reason being, I believe that you're gonna get more stuff done in the summertime and,
Yeah.
because it's a little easier to get construction done and, other stuff. done.
Spraying.
And guys take vacation.
And guys take vacations, so that's a, you know, they'll have people put in those
Select
slots.
help,
It is.
That's why he put that as one of his things. That's all, you know, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You guys can.
It's just not, it's just between the contracts, vegetation, the snow, ice and the summer help, I mean, it's $75,000 in increase in requests.
I do not look for, when we submit this, for the state to allow these budget numbers to come through.
For the highway.
So trying to be proactive and knock that down there a little bit.
Oh, I think I'm let them come back and tell us what they need to cut and then we can go
And
cut.
then tell
Okay,
them to go
okay.
to,
Yes, do that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
on that,
Cause we've done that in the past.
Omnibus on it.
right?
I get what you're saying.
Unless it's
And
something
diversify
huge,
this stuff.
but if you wanna go ahead and do it, but I do look for this one to come back as needing,
Trim.
a trim.
And then we let Jason decide, yeah, I really
Decide to
need
get what's getting
15,000 more in summer, but let me take this request from 20,000 down to 10 request. I don't know, I just between those 4, yeah, it's.
I would hate to put
Close to
the
$5
money
per
in summer help, knowing that if you didn't have the money in snow and ice, it could debilitate the whole community.
Then, yeah,
So the extra flag help in the summer is nice, but in the winter, in an emergency,
So if we
Our-
take Chris summer help down back to 35, which was approved last year, could we, entertain an appropriation later on when we?
yeah, if
If
they,
all of a sudden he spends,
That's
hey, I need 40,000 to pay for my summer help or additional 5,000, that is.
Yeah.
or if something happens where they end up with a vacancy in one of their positions for some time, they could transfer money to that.
So I would propose we just take summer help down to 35,000 at this point.
Yeah, or if we don't have a bad winter and they have surplus and
And
Yeah, they have to spend.
Somebody
more
already
on
requested
salt
to
piles.
transfer.
okay, I'd like to,
Or you need the salt.
I would like to entertain a motion for Mike's proposal, like to move on that.
I'll make the proposal that we
Okay,
take summer help and just let it remain at 35,000, vice the request for 50.
okay, that's so moved. We got a second.
second,
Okay, all in favor?
I'm,
And then allow the others to
which
then
then,
dormant as requested and see what the state says.
which then brings you to snow and ice.
Which we still haven't got did we get a confirmation that the cinder problem would be?
He said his sourcing was going away,
For
we
sure,
used to get it
for sure.
Yeah.
they
Salt
weren't
prices
gonna-
went
they
up
weren't
to
gonna-
and
$90
just
a
taking it
ton.
from another location was almost cost prohibitive.
And will cost prohibitive.
Like 70.
So if we're gonna go that direction. I don't see a way that would protect the county any better than just give them what they want on that. Unfortunately, I mean, that's just, they gotta have some kind of recourse there. But I'll want to entertain more discussion on that.
No, that, just like Auditor Huff said, if, that's necessary. We must be prepared for the snow and ice stuff. Cause that's definitely a public safety issue. In my opinion, yeah.
And if the state says you have to reduce,
So,
make some
beyond-
reductions, they can do it in vegetation control, they could do it in snow and ice, they could do it wherever needed.
And his requested for stone for 2027 technically is in the books at 50,000, but I believe he had said that was one area that he could potentially drop.
He did, I think he brought down to 10,000.
Oh, I wrote down 35,000, but am I?
I don't have a
Anybody
number.
I didn't have a number.
To entertain a motion,
No, okay.
I'm not suggesting change, I'm just thinking.
You mean stone here and?
Oh, we could do
For
it.
50,
Yeah,
I'd
I
like to
think,
entertain a motion that we drop that to 35.
which one?
Stone.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we're leaving snow and ice the same,
Yes.
That's a question.
hardware and tools, 4,000, other supplies, 2,000. Paint, $1, bituminous, $547,000. Road signs, 25,000, vegetation, okay, those all stayed the same. Vegetation control went from $30,000 to $60,000.
It's a while.
Bids an increase, but it's terrible, you know.
Well, all I'm gonna say is I live out in the county. And it has been hard for them to take care of. Cause they just don't have it in the budget, and we got a lot of rain this year, and they haven't been able to. They didn't have the help to mow like they don't,
Yeah.
cause my thing, and then the vegetation control that they usually spray. Right now, I mean, that's not been sprayed, so I don't know, I see a need for it because I live in the county and I drive, you do too, Gary, you see the roads, sides.
We have to be careful because when people go out of their driveway and you got vegetation and on some of these county roads, you can get, get bad quick.
That being said,
Spots.
that was created, those issues this year were created because they cut mowing completely from their schedule because of the cut in revenue we were receiving
Oh, because
for our
of the gas tax.
anticipated budget
That's right.
because of the gas tax.
I'll still say, I think vegetation is important.
Right.
Yeah, because like Dwayne says, when you're at a curve or a stop sign, it can be
And that
different.
box.
So many
Somebody
places
seeing,
like that.
somebody
You see
seeing,
the box
somebody
at the
coming.
intersection that has the traffic light that
There's
gets
so many
minutes
places like
and
that.
blows the box.
You gotta,
So we
there's
just
a lot of places like
leave
that
and
in
approve
the rural area.
what he's asking for, double the amount, and again, see what the state
Yeah.
comes back out.
I
Okay.
would- do we have-
Radio maintenance, 6,000, same contracts from 20,000 to 30,000. And I believe that was potentially,
Boss, Midway, Electric,
Our only
stoplight control and Hutchinson
the
Lane.
only stoplight,
Yeah,
so,
That was baffling to me when I learned that we technically are only responsible for one stoplight.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
one stoplight.
It's
We
very
got the
expensive.
dang bridges, but,
And then the next is CDL testing, 4,400, which is the same. And then Oh gosh, there's one. Okay, then gas and oil lubricants, they just left at $1, tire and lube. Or tire and tubes, they. They went from 35,000, they stayed at 35,000. Garage and motor supply, 70,000 remaining the same, telephone, 2,000 remaining the same, utilities, 15,000 remaining the same. Repair of road equipment, 125,000. Rental, 4,000 to $10,000. I'm assuming just the increase.
Yeah, I said chip and seal and then the bridge.
What, there was one
Cleaning.
machine that he mentioned that cost $3,000 a month to rent it. What?
The sweeper, yeah.
Dang,
That's used like primarily for
I need to buy one of
For
those.
the chip
Right,
and
and
seal stuff. Truck, 70,000 remaining the same, road equipment, 50,000 remaining the same. And that is it.
Okay, I would like to entertain a motion that we accept this budget.
I'll make that motion that we accept the budget for what is it? Highway contracts 1176 for 2027.
So move, get a second from Ray Black, all in favor?
Okay.
Okay, 1242, they have asked for the entire $308,000 that was distributed to us in 2026 to be used in 2027. This is the new distribution that, we received because we did participate in the wheel tax.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Allocate the 308,000
We need it.
We need it.
for road repair.
So move, second, I agree.
And Gary.
All in favor?
I
Just want you on, because I could be your, inside with it, send it to.
Okay, now we are in lit, under all other, fund 1112. The first significant change, there was a raised increase, requested for the project manager.
So, I think the discussion was to raise him to the first deputy pay, which is currently 44,751. If we could look at that and then apply the 3% salary increase to adjust his salary,
Hold on.
that would be my proposal.
That's right.
Good job.
Okay, hold on just a second. Let me look at that amount and verify so that I can give you. It would be $46,093.
I would like to entertain a motion to accept that change.
I'll make that motion.
So move to get a second on that.
I'll second it.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Gary, second, all in favor?
Okay, the next item was archivist supplies. It went from 500 to 0, which we already talked about. Central dispatch, I've already calculated that amount that we need, and due to the changes in moving some stuff from the state fund, since they have absorbed the remaining balance and they're having to transition back to the split fund, our share would be $509,150.41.
509.
509,150.41.
Okay, thank you.
And that is controlled by interlocal. Contractual services, $140,000. This is our extension office line. Animal shelter expenses, we have budgeted 300,000. And that's unchanged. Trash truck, there is a significant increase And we typically budget 45,000 for maintenance and fuel. There is a request for 290,000, and 265 would be buying a new truck as ours is aging.
I would make that motion, and then I would also comment that, I know that there has been just, conversations out in the public about the increase in costs to, what it costs annually for a trash car and the limited number of bags due to, and then questions were, well, what if the truck's not there? This will alleviate that problem. We'll have a backup truck, we'll have a new truck. But the cost, we are still in the negative, even if we charge each person $70 in the hundreds of thousands. We're not recouping that money
And
to keep our community clean.
if they were to reach out to surrounding counties, they will find that trash programs are a thing of the past in other communities. So it is amazing that we have been able to keep this going.
Yeah, and if you go to somebody, Rocky or Goodford, I mean,
That's the way everybody, yeah.
that's what I mean,
Okay, not double,
you're,
about 4 times
Yeah,
that.
it's
Well,
it's more than $70 a year by 2, 3, 4 times.
Right.
Absolutely, and they
you
are.
pay that, more than that per month.
So that being said, I would motion to, for the requested increase to 290,000 for 2027 in that line item, 34,920, due to the new truck for the trash program.
So moved, do we get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Heather, could, just for a second, you said, let's say 300,000, the 140,000 contractual services, did you say that was 160,000? I thought I heard 160,000, I might have misheard you.
No, we had 40,000. So what I had done is I went ahead and put in our initial budget for 60,000
I got you.
in the extension office. And then I was letting you guys make that call if you wanted to budget the entire amount out of it, or if you wanted to keep 60,000 of it still in county general. But yeah, all one place makes it easier, definitely in the auditor's office world.
I agree, yeah, okay.
So, well, I'm looking, 45,000 was budgeted for maintenance and, keeping up
Right.
the route for the old truck, and we still have an old truck. And when I started doing the math here, I said we really should have been at maybe 310,000 if we want to maintain current level of service. So why don't we just leave what we got and then what's in the general fund, and we'll just see where if we don't spend.
We
that
could
much,
always,
we-
to get everything back up, we could always figure out for an addition. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, jail expenses, and I have the note for the juvenile jail. $150,000 compared to $5,000. And this is how they came up with this number. In Coombe Jail, to maintain the systems in 2023, when the old jail was up and running, that is how much it costs to keep everything maintained and going. And the commissioners are now taking that expense instead of, the sheriff's department.
Which certainly does not need to fall on the sheriff's line item. Obviously, the hope is if we're moving forward.
There will be revenue coming in to offset
Yes,
some of it.
yeah,
Once it gets up and going.
some of the renovation will probably lower that cost too, because it's not all old,
The old system.
the old system.
Right.
They got new piping and.
This was just their only way they had to. This was the best guess
As a,
to make a budget.
to start.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, do you guys wanna make a motion
Yeah.
for that?
Entertain a motion for that 150,000 in that 35310.
I'll make the motion for 35310 to go to 150,000.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then, the veterans transportation, 14,000 remain the same. The ambulance contract, 500,000. Did that get increased to 6?
I don't think so.
They requested
They
6.
requested 6 and we were,
The commissioners, wanted to keep it at the 5,000.
or 500,000, okay.
Contribution to the transport hub and.
In lieu of the other, okay. So, 500,000 unchanged. Vehicle purchase, this is a change. There's a request for $50,000 for the potential of purchasing 1 to 2 vehicles. That would help reduce the mileage reimbursement. So this would be, potentially one for maintenance and, if
The health.
Building,
Or no?
building inspector, isn't it?
and if there could be something also picked up for the building inspector.
You use own vehicle now.
Cause they have, the building inspector probably has the highest
Highest.
reimbursement on mileage.
So I like to retain that motion for that.
So diving in with 2?
Right now, it's maintenance vehicle, but, that has been a request that Mike has had out on the table for a couple of years now. I don't know if there's. I don't know,
I make a motion.
a starting point at least.
Right.
For a vehicle, or are we looking at 2?
Well, $50,000 and.
Is
what you
looking
get.
impossible too, but you're not gonna get.
Right.
No.
But that'd be a good starting point. Why don't we?
Is that one vehicle though?
That
Well, it doesn't matter, they got $50,000 to use, if they can buy 2, go for it.
Okay.
If they can't, then
Okay, I just wanna make sure that we're,
Buy a whole fleet vehicle. or-
Okay, so let's,
will that reduce
No,
some
we don't.
travel?
Yes.
I mean,
About that.
and
Yeah.
tell me the other, I know Mike's, the building inspector is one of the more substantial, obviously continually having to use a private vehicle. But I'm looking, sorry, that's the plan commission budget, that's 500 in travel.
I think,
The building inspector travel currently, again, without coming to us and asking for an additional appropriation, what is that this year?
hold on just a second, and I can tell you what our reimbursement is up to this point. On that position. If,
First of all, we're gonna dive in and potentially buy 2 vehicles, then we can go ahead and cut their travel funding now, we don't have to wait a year.
That's what I'm.
I'm just, or we stick our toe in and not completely dive in, and we look to purchase a county vehicle, potentially even
Okay.
a shared
Drop it down. to
reimbursement for,
Josh was at $7,000 for building inspector.
7.
Yeah, I noticed.
but, so look at I think he also gets the
That's-
mileage. This under.
7,000 for wear and tear on this vehicle or what? So.
Cause they don't get reimbursed at the federal rate, like,
Yeah.
it's 70 cents,
Right,
so I get
right.
We get like
That was state 50.
49.
49, 50.
So
49,
So it's 30 if you could, 30 more cents if we pay the
So
federal rate.
they gotta be looking at a used vehicle if they buy it.
Oh, yeah.
oh, yes, and that's what I think I think when the animal control officer vehicle was purchased, it was no more than 40. And that was a full-size truck with 4 doors. So I think there could definitely be, adjustments made to that.
Instead of 50,000, I'm gonna recommend 35,000.
So.
Just for
Ray,
one
Mike
vehicle.
made that motion.
However they wanna do it, you know?
I think 2 would be great. Right.
I think 50,000.
I was gonna say, I think 35 definitely restricts it to where it is just a singular
Yeah.
vehicle.
No bombs at Tom's. Used trucks,
Yes, I got you.
sorry.
So are the motion's on the floor for 35, right?
So I already made the motion for 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would second Ray Denning's motion for 50.
Okay, so Ray Denning, 50, and who's gonna, you, and Pam seconded that motion, all in favor? Aye.
I'll give it an eye, but I'd like to bump that current travel request then.
Well, we don't know that they're going to be,
We get one, do something to revisit.
So sure, he's not gonna have, they're not gonna vehicle purchase January 1st to start using. We
that's my only.
need to watch that, and if that vehicle stays in
If the
owned and insured by the
commissioners-
counties.
I think that if the commissioners can purchase a vehicle for less than 50, the remaining amount could go towards another vehicle, and then they could propose to decrease their travel to suffice that need is what, and then see if they could find something in that ballpark.
So could we reduce this 7,000 to 5,000 on?
I wouldn't if you're gonna have him use it to buy a vehicle.
Okay. You're gonna use this 7,000 plus the 50,
There's two vehicles in question.
right?
The one vehicle, the 7,000 is not the primary vehicle of purchase.
So we're gonna leave that as we pass that, then we're gonna leave
I mean,
it.
current practice, he's using his own vehicle, he's getting
Right, I know
reimbursed.
this, yeah.
But I see what you're saying, if
Yeah.
there's a timely purchase of one or two vehicles, we can,
You
they
can
may have
reduce-
potential, $57,000 they can apply.
I would think that they
To
could use
cover
that towards with a
Their
simple
needs
transfer.
as they've
Which makes
identified it.
Right.
Well,
In essence-
for the
in
building
essence,
inspector
we're-
and a maintenance vehicle,
In essence, we're doing 57,000.
I think so.
Right, and it costs us up front, but then we don't looking beyond 27.
Then we
if
would
we
just
can
have
get-
the fuel expense and
Right.
not the,
And you,
And best practice is just like we talked about with the sheriff's department. You know, obviously, if the individual's gonna have personal mileage, let's say that vehicle is stored at the courthouse, for example. You know, his personal mileage to come get that vehicle is just like all of us don't get paid mileage to and from our offices.
that's
That's,
typically at work.
yeah, it is, but again, knowing the travel required for that position. If he's gotta be in deputy the next day, that vehicle goes home with them, and that vehicle is only used for building inspector related mileage purposes.
right,
Just,
And it's something you guys will definitely make sure you hone in, I'm sure you will, you'll pay close attention to next year as we see what's purchased in 2027, for sure. So, we're done with that?
Mhm.
Okay.
And it gives them the most flex, I think, to be able to do it in a timely fashion and get what they need.
okay. The next item is financial planning, 17,000. Unfortunately, this is a constant need. We, with everything coming up, we have had to use this service a lot in the last, so it would be my request to leave it the same. Comprehensive plan, 25,000, that is unchanged. Juvenile facility superintendent contract, 130,000. This is new to the budget process, but it was requested during 2026 and approved. And then IT contract, a portion of it is budgeted here at 300, or at $151,632. And then it was my recommendation to move computer maintenance in the amount of 370,000 from Coon Cap Development to Lit.
The 1170 has the 370.
No, the 370 is computer maintenance from 1138 to 1110 or 2. And it's because Coon Cap Development, we have crunched on that for quite some time that we've used the reserve in that.
Yeah.
I would motion to move that from Coon Cat to Lit in the amount of 370,000.
Second, all in favor?
I,
And then, motion to accept the rest as submitted.
I'll entertain that motion.
Right.
Ray, Denny, so moved, Ray, you have a second on that?
I can second that.
Heather,
Or maybe
Boyd, second.
Chewy.
All in favor?
I,
The IT contract, that's with the new firm, right? That's what the new, that they went with instead of the one that wasn't adequately
Right.
giving us a warm and fuzzy of what they were doing for us.
Yeah,
Here it's been a
so
improvement.
it has been an improvement. The next fund is 1119, clerk record perpetual. 15,000 part-time, office supplies 4,000, equipment 5,000, travel 1,000, rebinding of records 3,000. And that is a completely unchanged fund.
I'll motion to approve.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
1170, public safety tax. Jail food service contract from 425,000 down to 400,000. Longevity, 97,500 to remaining the same at 97,500. Sheriff retirement from 305,645 to 313,952. And this is basically given to us by the,
state.
well, it's the management of the plan. There is that fire department line that we need to either adjust. If you remember, we did that as a request and we can continue to do that as an additional, or we can add an amount in now and decide how that will be divvied for 27.
I would like to entertain a motion to add that in now.
The 100,000, okay?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Okay, training school, 20,000 remaining the same, use of facilities from 20,000 down to 15,000. Property and liability, 350,000, they left that request the same, and I think we're crazy to think that insurance isn't gonna jump. Because, the trend just, the last time we had a trend, it was about a 20% increase. So, I think it would just be safe to assume that this portion will increase. If not, we would have to come through with an additional.
Well, looking back, one line item, the use of facilities, obviously we hopefully are not spending any there.
Right, we haven't spent
Yeah,
anything today.
and I know we've had a little decrease there, but even knowing the juvenile placement has a different line item. And that should hopefully, if things go through with the old jail, drop again. I guess I would just prefer, if you feel like, a little cushion needs to be there, not that we can't make that transfer, but in the liability, can we take that use of other facilities? We could be bold and take it down to $1. Or even, leave 5,000 in there and then make that $15,000 increase in the property liability?
The reason they leave that there is because in the event you had, say, a gang activity and they have affiliation with other people in the pods, they would have to relocate them somewhere else. So they need that in the event that something were to occur, but I think it would be safe and this fund could sustain the increase to bump this by at least 20,000 just to cover ourselves.
Liability.
Yeah, and hope that that's enough. And it may, like,
Proposal to increase it.
and the reality of it is I don't even think
Yeah.
20 would be enough, that we are gonna eventually have to come back for an additional.
But you don't think, and even if, what were we paying, $38 a day? I think some of them were $70 a day. I mean, even if again, we did have some inmates, for example, in another facility. I just, to me, to keep 15,000.
Is a little high,
Is a
yeah.
little high.
I do think 15,000 is still a
I
little
mean,
high.
5,000 and it would still give us enough for several cases that may have to be housed out of county for a little while.
Yes.
Well, do we wanna take it down to 5, or do you wanna just take it to 10? What do you think?
You are gonna use of other facilities, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, knowing
Yeah.
the increase in property liability probably needs to.
So we're proposing that we bump up property liability 20, right?
At least 20.
And then
Would
take
be my
the use of other facilities down
370.
10? The 370, but take use of other facilities down to 5, maybe?
Yeah,
Okay. I'd like to entertain that motion for those two changes.
I can make that motion,
All right.
decreasing use of facilities 32340 to 5,000 and property liability 34120 up to $370,000.
Okay, so
I'll second it.
So move Gary seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
the next request is utilities from 280,000 to 300,000. Do you wanna go ahead and approve that or disapprove?
I would, like to entertain a motion to approve that. I know that, well, I know that's a lot, but utilities are going up.
You have to use
Utilities for what facilities?
it's for the jail,
For jail.
yeah.
And, Duke's already said that,
We're scheduled to increase for the next 2 years.
the rates are going up.
Right, regardless of any projects in the community.
Yes, doesn't have anything to do with any possible projects.
No, it does not. That's gonna happen.
They
I'll
were
make a
increased.
motion.
Okay, got a second?
I can second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
That's the increase in utilities.
Yeah, of 20,000, yes.
The next is Axon contract, 60,507, remaining the same. Sheriff cars, 40,000, remaining the same. Block contract, 5,000, remaining the same. I would request, can we go ahead and make this 10,000, knowing that every year we have to increase it by the 5,000? We pay the entire bill out of this line for 10,000, and then the prosecutor's office writes them a check for 5,000. We receipt it back into this fund to cover, and then I end up having to do an additional. So if we just made it the solid 10,000, then after the reimbursement, we would not have to do an additional.
I would make a motion that we increase that flock contract 33333 up to the flat 10,000 to cover the entire cost.
Okay, training,
We need a second.
yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, training school for jail employees, that's $10,000. It's unchanged. They have IT contract. So the IT contract was 70,000. They didn't put in that new amount for 27. So it's at least that 70,000,
It's located in a different fund.
but not for the
Not for
jail.
now.
Yeah, so the jail has so many additional needs on that they have their own contract. It says located in 1112. Can I leave this as a question so that I can talk to the commissioner's secretary and make sure that we have the entire contract covered and do this as our final line item to
Yes.
cover? Yeah. Okay. Jail healthcare services contract from 685,000 to 710,000.
And that increase, those funds are coming from the reduction in the food cost.
Yes.
Right. And then reassurance solutions, 3,600 unchanged. Lexipol contract, from 13,000 to 14,500. And then the final addition to this fund is
Is the
adding the two
jailers.
jailers. At 48,408, starting July 1.
Do we need to leave this open until you do your research on the,
I think we can maybe approve them all with
You can approve
exception.
everything except
for that line
for
item?
the, IT line, and then I will bring that back for our final meeting.
Okay, I would like to entertain a motion that we accept this budget except for the 30033 IT contract.
To exclude the two jailers.
To include the two jailers. Thank you, Mike.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The next fund is 1181 plat book. 10,000 for the GIS specialist, salary, 500 for office supplies, 1,100 for equipment. WTH matching or mapping contract at $9,000, and all of that is unchanged.
I make a motion to approve that. No changes.
Your second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
1182 pretrial diversion. There's a deputy prosecutor at 20,000. Equipment at 5,000. VOCA grant match at 4,000. Training and travel at 5,000. Telephone at 4,000. Office expenses at 8,000. Communication support at 7,000. Victim Rights Memorial at $1, law enforcement, 2,500, dues and subscriptions, 3,000, and professional fees at 900, all unchanged, and these are user fees that collected to this.
Entertain a motion to accept
So
that.
moved.
All right,
Seconded.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 1202 County Cornerstone Perpetual. This is an unchanged number at 30,000. This is a contract typically with Bill Pettit that does Cornerstone perpetuation work for us.
Entertain a motion that we keep, that we approve this.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up is election and registration. Elected official, 9,000, clerical assistant, 8,000, absentee voter board, 24,000, inspector primary, 3,900, judges primary, 6,240, clerk primary, 5,720, assistant clerks, 1,575, sheriff primary, 489, inspector general, 3,900, judges general, 6,240, clerks general, 5,720, assistant clerks general, 1,575, sheriff's general, 1,100, two machine mechanics primary, 3,000, two machine mechanics general, 3,000, office supplies, $4,996, replacement parts, $200, equipment, $10,000, printing, 4,200, registration fees, $150, postage, $9,365, travel, $900, advertising, $1,400, printing of ballots, $4,600, printing of magnetic media, $50, election equipment, $6,000, poll worker training general, 1,300, poll worker training primary, 1,300, equipment rental, 2,500, polling places, 1,600, meals for primary, 2,500, meals for general, 2,500, computer update, 15,000, and the only, election stipend for clerk only on years with a general election, 2,500, and then the remaining only change to this budget is the addition of micro vote support in the amount of $28,900. And that was stressed by Tabitha
That's been very helpful.
as being very, very helpful, and especially moving forward with a new clerk.
Absolutely.
it would be
Great.
I only hope if the average listener, anybody's out there, knows what it costs this county to have an election. I hope that means you get out and vote.
yes,
Yes,
because
it is
regardless, you
expensive.
have to pay for
It
it.
is expensive.
Regardless, we're paying for it.
I value the process, but my goodness gracious.
I'd make the motion to accept her budget as proposed with the addition of the $28,900 for micro vote and the $2,500 for the general election stipend for our clerk, election clerk.
We have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay. Reassessment, 1224, there is no change. This is our contract with Tyler Technology in the amount of $169,932.
I entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Cemetery Board, office supplies, 100 unchanged. Cemetery maintenance was changed from $29,500 to $33,500. I did reach out, to the cemetery board and let me search that real quick. And I think I sent it to you guys,
Yeah.
his,
You
answer to those. Okay. So it appears that there's just a special project that they're working on in Shelby County.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Okay, infraction deferral program. It is one line item and it is $5,000 and it is unchanged.
They motion to approve that?
Make motion.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Animal shelter. This is currently funded at the city up to $60,000 and the town of Hanover up to $10,000. We are scheduled to contribute $300,000 towards this.
Let that be known.
Yes.
Let that be known.
That being said, there is a change. I'm looking for a change, hold on. Okay, office supplies, she has reduced the budget from 2,200 to 1,700. Cat and dog food at 2,000, keeping the same. Cleaning supplies from 3,500 to 2,000. Vet services remaining the same at 40,000. Building maintenance from 3,000, remaining the same at 3,500. Shelter van, and I'm assuming this is used maintenance on the van, is $1,500. Staff development and continuing ed, previously 500 and requesting 2,500.
You want to bring in some people to train the staff, right?
Right,
That's additional.
and I believe she reduced the others to offset.
Yep.
Valued her making the effort to reduce the others to try and offset. Yeah, just that little note as a reminder, I know the tiny stipend for like a volunteer appreciation gift that hadn't been used much, so she took that out completely, so I only say that as a beg for people that love out of the goodness of their heart to donate dog food or cleaning supplies. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to in some way make a donation to help give their volunteers a kudos on the back, that's also
Absolutely.
would be beneficial.
And she actually reduced her budget a little bit, so I would entertain a motion to accept this budget as proposed.
I would like to add a stipulation that we contact our county lawyer about the situation of payments from town and city.
This was, I am supposed to have quarterly meetings with our county attorney. He did not schedule a second quarter meeting with me, but this was one of the items that I discussed for him to work on in the first quarter of the year. To my knowledge, it has not been addressed yet.
And the town of Hanover knows that we, in communication with them, they know that we'll most likely be revisiting that interlocal and that the wording up to needs to change.
like, at minimum.
So if our lawyer's not gonna protect the county taxpayers' money, maybe the council needs to recommend that we pursue a new lawyer to represent the county.
I can relay that message to the, commissioners. I'm working on a few other issues that are also, being held up by the county attorney at the
Are
moment.
other council members in agreement with me on that?
Yes, yes.
So it's unanimous that
It's
we,
just, do we need to make a motion for that, or we just,
But this budget is pending, or this budget is approved, but that we need that, language to be changed.
yes.
Yes.
all right. I would entertain a motion for what we've just stated here.
So moved.
Okay.
I can second that.
Heather second, Heather. All in favor?
Okay, let me look through these. 4909 Jefferson County Park Board Timber Fund, an unchanged budget of $10,000. This is the park board. They do some light gravel work and maintenance out at Kruger Lake.
Motion we approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Okay, unsafe building. This is an unchanged budget of $32,000 to work towards cleaning up. Of course, this fund, as we spend this money, and this would be their allotment to clean up only no more than 32,000 a year. Then the fund then remains negative until the money is collected back via tax bill.
I entertain a motion to
Motion
accept
to
this.
approve.
All right, got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
7105 sales disclosure. This fund's used by the county assessor's office. They have a part-time employee in here in the amount of $10,000. And then they have training and travel in the amount of $2,000. That is unchanged.
And training travels for the entire department.
Yes.
And she does not have a travel line item in her
Normal.
state advantage of state call meeting reimbursement, but yeah, in her general fund, so this
That's
is
right.
yeah.
Entertain a motion to accept that as proposed.
I'll make that motion.
All right, you got a second?
Second.
Great, any second, all in favor?
Aye.
Convention and tourism, so office supplies 1,000 unchanged, Visit Madison contract went from 365,580 to 455,580. Community outreach from 550 to 550, professional services 15,000 remaining the same, VMI marketing contract from 200,000 to 280,000, and travel remaining the same at $5,000.
Entertain a motion to accept 7304 as proposed.
Make that motion.
Second. On the boards. Oh, it came by second.
I'll say.
Ray Black seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay,
And
8897.
increase that, those two contracts again for another year, they can't go up like that.
So, right,
Both the marketing and the general VMI contract. A lot of money.
8897 prosecutor incentive. This is used to offset one of the salaries in county general by $11,991.
I can make that motion that we accept this from the prosecutor incentive fund.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
8899 clerk incentive fund, they have part-time 2,000, office supply 1,000, equipment 3,000, Dossett consulting 8,000, Postage 1,500. Training and travel 900, and stationery and printing 1,000, and those are all remaining the same from 2026.
Entertain a motion to
A
accept.
motion to accept.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next fund is our cumulative fund, starting with Fume Bridge. The first main ask was for an additional truck driver. I have an estimated expense after you add what a truck driver makes. So after you add a truck driver, what they make, and then the 3% raise to bring it to the current, what truck drivers will be making, and then per social security and insurance, this ask is of around 65,000.
I entertain a motion, to accept that. Let's discuss it.
Everything else is the same, this is only.
It's the only, well. Yes, I believe
I mean, we
that
could-
is
we
the
could look
only
at
ask.
Something if you're worried about, the cost of it, we could look down the list and see if there's something else, but I think they do need that. I mean, that's their primary go-to.
Right,
And. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Make a reduction in our overall budget, this might be a place to go back and eliminate.
I just said, yeah.
Okay. Which place would be a good place to go?
so,
Okay. All right.
so Coombe Bridge, so is it fair to say that a motion would need to be made that everything is approved as submitted on Coombe Bridge, and in the event that the state says this needs to be reduced, that the first thing that gets cut is that additional position?
I
Or-
entertain that motion.
Or something down the list in 1135.
Cause this money is supposed to be saved for a bridge crew, but also
Okay.
all the bridges that have to be replaced in the county.
Okay.
There's the, yeah.
I mean, you could
Great,
go
big
through
ones,
here
love it.
and look at something that you don't think.
They're pretty much everything, is everything else the same as it was last year?
Everything's the same as last year, but we have major projects coming up, so.
The operator's an operating engineer, right? He's doing the grader and all the other stuff. Is that
Right.
different than the drivers?
Yes,
Okay.
Well,
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we get a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
so I'm gonna put the note, approve only if by state.
Great. There's times just to go ahead and apply and let them tell you no. And
Okay.
then we'll have to reinforce from there.
Worst they can do is no, right?
1138 Coon Cap Development, first thing up, we moved the $370,000 IT contract to WIT. Second up, clerk postage at $1,800, unchanged, auditor equipment. Can I ask to reduce this? So, it is in at 11,000 because there was discussion at one point in time of buying, computers, for council and commissioner, and then once it came down to me actually pricing, then individuals were reaching out to me saying that they really didn't want the additional, device. So, can we reduce that back to the $1,000 for my printer repair?
Yes, and we can certainly do that.
Okay.
I would like to entertain a motion to reduce that back to 1,000.
So moved.
I've got a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Okay, surveyor, plan, commission, repair of equipment, $3,000. Extension office, or copier maintenance, which is 6,500. And circuit court Equipment repair, $8,000 unchanged. Recorder maintenance contracts, $18,000 unchanged. Sheriff cars, $80,435 unchanged, and equipment purchases of $20,000 unchanged.
One last question,
Yes,
back to the very top, computer maintenance,
that was moved to,
that's been moved, right?
yes,
Okay, that's what I thought.
To let.
A motion to approve.
A second,
Second.
all in favor?
We didn't have to make a motion about the change for the software, we already.
it was covered in the blanket, I feel like, since it was such a,
To where,
we had already done that
Okay.
first, when we came across lit.
okay,
Okay, 1140 Coombe Courthouse, ADA supplies and work, 25,000 unchanged. Contract IT service, 0, it was relocated to lit. Flooring and cleaning, that has been increased to $20,000. I believe it's been, they are slowly trying to replace carpet. The carpet is getting, it needs replaced. So, they're slowly moving throughout the courthouse doing that. General repairs, 145,000 unchanged. Cleaning services from 2,000 to 0. Property and liability from 720,000 to 1 million. This is a realistic number. EMA equipment and repair, 20,000, unchanged. Elevator contract, 5,000 to 7,000. There was an increase. Fire suppression contract from 6,000 to 8,000. There was an increase. Exterminator courthouse contract, 1,000 to 0. And then wall repair, 15,000 unchanged. Water treatment contract, 3,600 to 4,000. And firewall contract for our IT is 14,000 unchanged.
One question back to property liability,
Yeah.
is that bid on, or is that just given to the same insurance company every time?
So the broker has remained the same for several years. They, from my understanding, throughout the years, when we have went with other brokers, most of the time, the only people that will actually even give a quote to us is something like Travelers, which is who we've had through the fire, even with different brokers, we've had Travelers. I do know that the current broker shops amongst different insurance companies, and that this is what's coming back the lowest. And that we've had to buy from smaller ancillary companies to, because Travelers will only cover us to a certain amount, and we have a greater need for that.
And this does also include the jail,
Yeah, the jail
which is
also is in.
significant driver, obviously.
Right.
Really, all county pieces property.
Right.
Yes.
So the last, and I would encourage, it's normally April when that happens, to reach out and talk and maybe even attend the commissioner meetings in April when they start doing this insurance re-up. It's really eye-opening of the expense that's out there. And also the fact that there are a lot of counties that are getting told that they are uninsurable at this point, and that they're having to self-insure
Because of the jail.
because of their jails. Yeah,
I was at
that
that one.
insurance companies just do not want to be a part of it.
I was at that meeting and I was like, all of us were like, our jaw was on the floor, how much everything cost. And I mean, the increase was unbelievable. So, yeah, $1 million, that's definitely realistic.
So then the next is EMA equipment and repair, 20,000 unchanged. Or wait a minute, we already
We
read them all,
went through
never
them.
mind,
You did.
okay. Went right back into reading.
We're very well ready to revisit that
Yes.
for good reason.
So,
Big number.
I can make a
I'm sorry.
motion,
Yeah.
that the Gilman courthouse budget be approved 1140 as read,
Second?
with the changes as well.
Second that. Second. Ray Denning, second, all in favor?
Alright,
Okay, 1142 Coombe Jail. We have Guardian RFID inmate scanner, $11,000 unchanged. Jail maintenance from 116,200 to 99,000. I believe because she's moving some of that around. So there would be the Simplex at 4790, the elevator contract at 4,000. Crosspoint contract at 3,000, fire suppression system contract at 2418. The HVAC at $45,980 instead of the 25,000. The refrigerator and freezer, which needs to be renamed as jail plumbing, go from 2,000 to $12,424. Sheriff Central Square from 35,000, remaining the same at 35,000. For miscellaneous disbursements, which end up being repairs, above and beyond these contracts, they have 75,000 unchanged, body scanner contract at 8,500, sanitary spray contract from $4,600 to $3,000, and then fingerprint scanner at 2,500. And this is the cumulative jail fund.
And we've talked about, go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
I
Yes,
understand.
Pam.
Go ahead, wait a minute. Go ahead.
Line item 30510, that Simplex Fire, we were gonna change that name to Nixon Power.
Nixon Power.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll give them a draft of all the name changes and see, if I can get all those changed to the actual names.
Yes, and then I had a question on the line item amount for Nixon Power. I have 10,443 written down. Is that correct?
So I went off of what they did this year because for some reason it's not in their actual, I'm wondering if it's back in their cover letter.
I think it is.
Okay, so,
For the, next line item, the elevator, which is changing to Atom Chemical, I had $1,500 for them, so a reduction.
okay, so let me go back and I'll save 1142 for our final meeting. Is that
Okay,
fair
thank
to
you.
go back through that? Yeah.
And I,
Thank
one more too, I thought, was this Laura? I thought they were combining the one that you renamed plumbing. I thought we were combining the HVAC and plumbing into one. It was a 3-year contract starting 2027.
Yeah, you're correct, Heather.
Okay, so there may
So
be
one
request.
One additional name change is the fire suppression, I think, is gonna be a Siemens system.
Okay,
And that's the contract that they've got for the fire suppression.
I will sit down and do a rework with them on this one, because
That's all.
I think they did most of it by letter and I need to rename and do some stuff there.
Lots of.
Okay.
Do you have a tally of, I mean, I've got 292,404, which is a slight reduction from what they asked in 2026. If I added up everything
Right.
correctly, which I probably did. Smile at me.
And obviously
Give me
they,
that cheesy.
yeah, this is something that each year we have to ask for negotiations in these contracts.
Yeah, don't get me
Just-
wrong, if we're saving money for a 3-year contract, I'm all for it, but I agree with you, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they've done what they've had to do this year, and I'm just saying in the years to come, it's so important to negotiate these things, cause I bet there could be some
Yeah,
negotiation.
we'll definitely revisit this.
And I
this
think
whole page
in
here.
previous years, we did up this cum rate at one point in time so that we would have, something to help maintain. So, the fund balance currently is at $735,000. So, and it looks like they've probably brought in about 140,000 of it, property tax revenue. So that's just the first, cycle. So I would say that they're definitely not even eating into the budget balance if they're budgeting at 200,000,
Right.
yeah,
Or even 3.
or even 3, they're not quite touching the balance.
It's just the cost of everything.
Yeah,
Right. Okay,
we're all
so
feeling it.
that
personally.
rounds out, if you don't mind, I would like to pick and choose on these port service, funds or skip it entirely until I retouch with Ani to see if she's heard anything back with state funding.
Skip it entirely.
Skip it entirely. Huh?
I don't think she's heard anything yet, so the
Okay.
last week, she still hadn't heard anything, and I haven't gotten an email this week that those numbers came in.
Okay, so let's skip that entirely and we'll go to 911.
Damn, I thought we left.
I know, the disembodied voice. is kind of
Disembodied voice.
spooky.
We're moving fast. You were Ray said, Pam,
Yeah,
Ray Black, he said, we're moving quicker now.
Yeah.
With you on the road.
So, we'll go ahead and start on 1222. This is your state 911 fund. So the supervisor's CTO training has been requested to be moved to 4001 due to the fund balance of 1222 not being able to support that position any longer. Then we have admin, part-time has been reduced from 12,000 to 8,000. Let me see, office supplies was increased from 16,000 to 20,000. Central Square was increased from 36,000 to 38,000. Radio equipment, reduced from 24,500 to 20,000. Think GIS annual support, 18,000 up to 19,000. Building utilities from 14,000 to 18,000. Telecom services from 50,000 to 45,000. Training incentive, from 23,000 to 27,000. Tower utilities for 1,500 unchanged. I received an email from Brandon yesterday, the RAVE community warning system, that amount has been increased from $7,401 to $7,548.09. And then the voice recorder annual support from 34,100 to 0.
Well, I appreciate he's made some good cuts. I hate to go back to office
Yeah, I was
supplies.
thinking the same thing, Gary.
I hate to do that, but I
It's
just,
computers.
Yes,
I
he's
think that's what
having
it was.
to
I think,
update
I'm glad you said that, because I wanted,
There
I
you go.
think it was not like paper off supplies, I think he had to replace a couple computers.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. I'm almost positive, I'm glad you said that.
I was kind of perplexed by that.
Right, no, it was actual
Saying it was
computer replacement,
computers.
and this goes back to the departments having to budget for these
Different line
computer
item, right,
upgrades.
but, yeah.
It is so much better than last 2 911 directors.
Right, we have
Absolutely.
experienced some in the past. So currently, our statewide 911 fund is only at 271,000 with a remaining 189,000 to spend this year. So that's why he's making these cuts from this, so that he's really only spending what's coming in every month. Versus eating into that balance like we were doing. Good. Okay. So do you have,
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the state 911 fund at 1222. Do you want to say something, Pam? Got the window rolled down?
That's not right.
Wendy's drive-through?
So I'd like to, entertain a motion to accept this, budget. Brandon's, state 911 fund 1222.
I'll make a motion.
All right,
I'll
second, Gary Copeland, second, all in favor?
Aye.
okay, the next. Portion of the 911 budget is Fund 4001. This is funded, Jefferson County funds 53.5%. The city of Madison funds 43.5%, and the town of Hanover provides 3% into this funding. The first change up is that he added the supervisor CTO trainer into this fund. He then, let's see, it's basically just.
Supervisor.
Right, payroll, okay, so then office supplies goes from 3,000 to 5,000. Postage goes from 175 to 100. Copier maintenance remains the same at 700. Equipment software as a service, remains the same at 6,500.
Sorry, I'm really, I just kept door down in this one. Okay.
Will, did you have something, we have some discussion on this?
No, it's technically not from this budget, so it's okay.
Okay. So, motion to.
No.
I've got it.
Okay, go ahead, Ray, go ahead.
The 911 funding on payments from the three entities, who established that and how long has that been established?
In 2025, we re-upped this to remain the same at the same funding agreement. It was part of all the interlocals that were readjusted.
So it's appropriate as
Yes,
far as what people are given in the city and the town.
yes, the funding agreement is relatively new and still appropriate, I believe.
Okay.
Proportional, you think, as far as, okay.
Yeah, and that percentage has been set up for quite some time. They've had it in the last several interlocal agreements. And I'm not sure if it's by population or by calls
I think it's been the same since they
established
established.
and went to a
You
central
know,
911.
and this is a tough one because the example before the animal shelter. You know, we need Hanover to be paying more than they're contributing, and we need to readdress the interlocal, and I understand their budget is small, but obviously we have the ability, you know, to kind of say, folks, what would it cost you to have your own animal shelter vehicle? They probably wouldn't have a shelter, but animal control officer vehicle. If they were to try and do it on their own and not contribute more than their local, it's gonna cost them a lot more. So, you know, if you can contribute toward the
Right.
county resources, since we're supporting you in the county. And this what makes it hard. It's not like we can say, well, you should do it on your own. You know, you're not contributing very much. We're still going to respond we're still gonna take their 911 calls. We're still gonna send the appropriate staff. So this is a tough one.
Yeah. What about 53-43-4?
We as a council need to make sure that everything's fair and appropriate for everybody.
Yes.
So that's why I'm raising these concerns.
Right.
Unfortunately, we really don't have a say in the interlocal agreements. It's commissioners.
I understand.
You know, it's,
Commissioners also need to protect Jefferson County
Yeah, I know.
taxpayers.
So, I would like to entertain a motion with all these discussions being taken into consideration by this body. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept this budget.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
okay, all in favor? Aye.
This is going back, and I apologize, but I have two different notes, and this is regarding, for some reason, I realized and forgot that particular budget, that 4001 does not have the part-time funding from the state 1222. It was noted that when we're paying staff, part-time, full-time staff that are already maybe getting a full work week, maybe even some overtime, if they're picking up an additional shift, we are paying them from a part-time line item. So concerned with the labor law and the fact that really typically part-time means a part-time person, you know, who's agreed to only fill in when needed, or work PRN or work, one shift a month or.
I do think
That's
he
a concern for
probably
me.
needs to ask for a transfer when that kind of stuff is going to happen and move it to more of a overtime line item. He is one of the departments that he's always gonna probably be in a situation where he's gonna have to buy down comp.
Yeah,
I think for the most part, with their staffing, they've had enough of a turnover that they do not always have to do what he said he has done in the past.
yes,
That those overtime hours are paid from the actual dispatcher line item.
and again, the ideal world, we are providing them with
Right.
enough staff and it's positive and enjoyable and compensated enough work, a good work environment to keep staff not dealing with the turnover that we had before. Yeah, so we can avoid overtime and avoid comp time. And there were certainly times when part-time help is needed, but when I realized in process that we were paying staff who are already working potentially 40 hours a week from a part-time line item, that's not ideal. That can come back to bite us as far as they really would and should be making overtime hours at that point. They probably shouldn't be paid from a part-time line item.
Right, it really should be transferred to their actual line item before that's done, and I think. So I know on the payroll side, when they're paid extra like that. And they're paid out their comp time, it comes from their actual line, and then we're transferring that money from that over because. It's way too much of a hassle to set up a new account number every single time something like that happens. So I think he was just stating that that's how it's utilized sometimes.
Okay,
And or may seem easier as far as payroll and or bookkeeping, but yeah, I just. Yeah, we
You don't want
want
something-
things like
Definitely
that.
something
Stay
to
or
watch,
come
should be
back,
on
yes.
that.
Part-time usually means a new person, part-time,
Right.
not paying your current staff, oh, pick up an extra shift if you want, we'll just pay it from part-time, that's not ideal.
Okay, so our next in the big book is 1191 riverboat wage and share. I'm assuming. So currently we have $100,000 in a miscellaneous disbursement line. We have heard from all of the different units, or different nonprofits. I'm gonna make a recommendation that I think might be, useful. I'm going to request that everyone fill out that little sheet of how they think it should be. And then I can take those and make a generalized one and then see how you guys wanna adjust it.
Mr. Black's already given me his.
Okay.
And I've got mine. If you guys could,
And
we'll all get that to you.
And it's a commissioner shared responsibility, and I will also ask them to fill out and come up with their average. And see what the average is,
I think that's a
and
great idea.
then we can go from
Go
there.
from there.
Again, seeking, with the mindset still of only the 100,000, or for some other discussion, looking at
So,
spending down a little bit of that cumulative balance to get those dollars out.
right, so really, there is about $30,000 extra in there, and we receive 97,000 every year. So we slowly bumped it up to 100,000, giving out an extra 3. But you could, essentially, you could bump it to 120.
I think that's a good idea.
And then from that point forward, you would just know that once we eat up that balance, you would only be distributing the 97,000 from that point forward.
When would you like? to
And one thing I'd like to point out, only those that, presented their budgets on time, or their funding request, I should say, on time, I believe should be considered this year. Is that appropriate?
I don't believe there was anyone that was outside of the window.
I don't think we had anybody like,
There's extra names on this sheet.
oh,
that
correct,
Did not.
Yeah,
correct.
so that we have given to in the past, yes.
Yeah.
Only consider
these
the
guys-
ones that actually applied this year.
Yeah, these guys came in.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So,
what would you like those to by?
Anytime, like, I don't know, give me a week and get those in,
I don't
and
know if they
then
would
we
guess.
can
instead of
make,
1 week or calendar.
make it a week of Sundays, I'm not sure. But you are in favor of bumping this to 120.
Yes,
I
100.
need to adjust.
Yeah, I would say, I would make even a formal motion if that's needed, that we go
Okay,
ahead.
so
Yeah.
let's do a motion for 120 and that we will consider the average of everyone's sealed bids.
Wait a minute, we got the talking head over here. What you got? Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
can hear you.
I'll take that.
This is yours.
worksheet.
A week,
Day,
A
today,
week
Pam,
from today.
you're out of the loop. That's what you get for leaving. I don't know what to tell you. But no, you got a week. You got a week. A week from
And
today.
so that I understand, because I was cutting out, where I'm supposed to be at the factory. So you're gonna take an average of what everybody's recommendation is and apply that to that.
Yes, all those that were on that sheet that we were given, the spreadsheet we were given, and that came in, I actually asked, yes.
Okay, great, thank you so much. And so, one more thing, so I make sure that I understood and heard everything. We have a current, surplus of 30,000 per se, if you
Yep.
want to use that term. So it's actually looking at 130 versus just 100.
Well, 127, but we're gonna do 127 is what we got to spend, but we're gonna go 120 with the recognition that that's gone. When the next year be back down to the 97. Once we use it, we use it.
Yeah, thank you for the clarification.
Unless a lot of you
And I'll
lose a
get
lot
that
of
turned
money
in.
out there and they.
Sorry. Okay, Pam.
No, this is that,
It's still set.
it's set by the state on this.
Okay, so who would wanna make that motion for?
I'll make a motion as we've explained it here in
Okay.
the last 5.5 minutes.
Okay,
I can second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I mean, I'm sorry that I have a hard stop, so.
That's okay. All right, well, are you running production right now, Pam?
I think so.
Okay, well, good for you, running.
They're on overtime status.
Be productive. See ya.
Bye.
okay, so my next, economic development casino revenue. I do have a concern. So there is $25,000 for special projects. There is 40,000 for our partnership with Madison, and that has been requested to be moved to lit. So we did forget that. If we could go ahead and make a motion that we are going to be paying the Economic Development Partnership for the city of Madison in the amount of $40,000 to lit
We're
instead
gonna
of,
move that to economic development lid.
economic development, it's gonna go to economic development lit.
I would like to entertain that motion for that move.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the special projects at the commissioner's discretion.
And
Hard to stay in.
so that's the
That's
next,
one we owe, right?
that's the only, no, the 25,000 is special project that they have.
20,000 bucks.
That being said, there's not enough money to do any special project of that size. So it would be safe to say you could take it to 10 and there may still be fund balance restrictions. And I believe they know as well on this, they only have what the cash balance is. And if, when it's gone, I feel as well.
And the website expense line item, that's already. been-
That was already moved. to left.
Another question, but could we move that to lit too?
The special,
Right.
I think,
We're gonna spend this.
We wanna spend it first,
yeah, let's,
Okay.
spend the back.
I would say, because money will continue to trickle into this,
Okay.
I would feel comfortable leaving it at 25,000. And knowing that they have to check the fund balance before anyways. Okay, is there any? Do you guys wanna approve that 25,000?
Entertain a motion to approve that 25,000.
I can make that motion.
All right, need my second?
I'll second.
All right, Gary second. All in favor? Aye.
Okay. We're almost to the end. 4903 historic casino revenue. This is also this is also from casino revenue from Belterra, our interlocal. So there's 20,000 in preservation projects, that's unchanged. There's a scanner amount that we pay 15,500 for our Laserfish contract to preserve these documents. There's a Madison partnership in the amount of 65,000. That is part of an interlocal agreement. And that is unchanged. And then there is a part-time help line item, $9,000 to be used for the scanning, and it's yet to have been touched this
Mhm.
year.
And the Madison partnership, is that going directly to HMI?
No, so from my understanding, 25,000 goes to the pool project.
Yes,
And
Oh, yeah.
the remaining goes for the PACE grant
yes,
agreement.
yeah.
That's something you're involved with, isn't it, Ray? Okay. So that's 40-25. Is that how that's divvied up?
Yeah,
And that's not forever. I think the
it's,
So can we,
pool is for 5 years.
do we need to approve the part-time? Can we just eliminate it? Or take it down to $1?
that would be up to you guys. It has not been used this year.
I'd like to entertain a motion that we take that down to $1.
I'll make that motion.
All right, got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If something happens, then.
And they need it, they can always ask. Okay, and then, so then approve the budget as is with the $1, with the one change.
So moved.
Second, somebody,
Second.
Gary second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and it's happening, it's the last one.
What's done, guys?
7303 casino revenue, this is money,
Yeah.
interlocal agreement that goes to road work. They have requested, $400,000. And they have a balance of 1,420,000 as of, July 23rd. This is another fund that when it's gone, type deal, so the money is there at this time.
So we'll probably need to use it, especially for
Oh,
road.
yeah.
I would like to entertain a motion to, approve this, 7303 for this additional, or for this 400,000.
I'll make it motion.
Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
And really, with a fairly healthy balance, that with any big highway project, it could be gone, we know that.
Right.
But again, knowing what the state could come back, you know, here's, we're trying to look at an extra 20,000 requests for part-time or 10,000 for bituminous or all these. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I mean, it's opportunity for, if some of that is cut, you know, kids and foot and should probably be tapping into and utilizing this fund when needed.
Right, I would like to request, can we plan on a final budget hearing? A final budget session for those last items on, either the week, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, or the week of the 21st of September, and then preferably that 15th would be the best, so I can get everything advertised before our public hearing on October 13th.
I can do the 5th.
Wait, well,
I'm
which
sorry.
month are we talking? September?
September 15th, and
What
we
day is
have,
that?
I'll be back.
That's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
it's a Tuesday.
Can we make it on another day, please? Cause that's, I got a meeting that day, if possible.
Make it on a Wednesday.
Commissioners actually moved their meeting to Wednesday on the 16th.
So what about the 17th?
Is everyone available on the 17th?
That is the big,
What time?
my schedule's always different, but I will say that's, I don't know if anybody in this room is going, that is the big Bethany Legacy Town Hall.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, I think you all were invited,
Right.
right, Chuck, some commissioners are at that, I can't even go.
I got a
I
fire
don't
What's
work
the
at
time
that.
on that?
I think it starts.
Could we do it that Monday? Was that-
Actually, yes, I am here that Monday. So are you available Monday, the 14th?
I will.
Yes.
Not be back.
Oh,
From-
I'm available for a short time.
Okay, so all
But you
we are
don't need-
doing
I can
is the
call in.
touch up on the 1170. And just giving you the report back on the, after I get everything plugged into the
How
system.
about I call in from, I may be out.
That'll be
the road,
perfect.
coming back
It'll be
from-
mostly
Raise that
information.
mic.
I
Okay,
couldn't
that
get here
piece.
till 6:45, so I
Okay.
have to work till 6:30, so
Okay.
I
It just so happens
probably be out.
that-
But again,
So what time could you be here?
I can't get here till 6:45, and that's skipping another meeting.
It won't be a long
I
meeting.
can't.
won't be long.
Yeah, we,
No, I don't think that there will be so much stuff that if you're not,
Decision.
Well, we need 4 of us.
right, we only need 4 to show and to
And,
make the final decisions on those name changes
okay.
on 1170.
okay, I got you, I got
It's
you.
It's
We
very,
talked through a lot.
it's very few.
If it's good for everybody else, it's totally
So
okay.
what's the time gonna be, 5:30?
So let's do Monday, the 14th at 5:30. And then it will be a very brief meeting, and then I will advertise from that point, and then budget will be finished. And we will, on October 13th, have our budget hearing. And then, I have the dates in the system of the actual adoption. It's that following week, probably on that Monday, is typically what we do.
Okay, so we'll come in that Monday
I mean,
after
if
that.
possibly leave early enough, we'll get back, I'll get back.
And do the actual just adoption.
That should be
Okay.
pretty brief.
So,
Yeah,
our
it's
budget
fine.
hearing where it's read is at our meeting on the 13th.
On the 13th,
And then
and that
the
is
adoption
the
is-
hearing. So technically, if there are any public comment at that point is when we accept public comment
Yes.
for budget.
And then the budget adoption, there's no public comment, and what date did you prefer to do that on?
I have it in the system already.
Super 13.
No, wait, that's the budget hearing.
It's like the Monday after, I think. I will look in the system, have to look in Gateway to know for sure. Okay?
This guy, I mean,
Okay.
did somebody get grade last
Do we want, yeah, are we good, to,
year?
well, yes, to table again until the next time?
Okay, I would like to, we'll do 2 then. I'd like to entertain a motion to table this until the next meeting. When did we say that was gonna be? The 14th of
The 14th.
September?
14th of December.
To finalize, to tie up some loose ends. I'd like to entertain that motion.
So moved.
Okay, can we get a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all opposed? No. I need to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
All right, second,
Second.
all right. All in
Okay.
favor? Aye.